What's going on, Mud Truckers? Welcome to Mud Truck News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. I want to get into this right here. I had a mother trucker send me this video and was very confused because they're new and they just got their CDL. So they're having confusion why this truck driver, which has a CDL, is driving a box truck and getting put out of service. So I just want to give you some information here. Being a bed bugger myself, sometimes I did have to put furniture in a box truck. Why? Because we couldn't get the semi truck in, and then I would have to rent like a U-Haul or a Penske and shift over all the furniture and bring it to the house. So there could be situations where you as a truck driver might need to have a box truck. So why did someone with the CDL in a box truck get put out of service? This truck driver didn't get put out of service for not having a CDL because he did have one. What he did get put out of service for is because on the truck, it had DOT numbers, but it did not have the word US, and the DOT officer even stated that. So when I look at the FMCSA website, it states, no, you cannot display a US DOT number on your truck without the US prefix. The US DOT, United States Department of Transportation number, is a federally regulated identification number required for commercial motor vehicles and requires the US prefix. This prefix indicates that the number is issued by the U.S. Department of Transportation and is crucial for identifying the motor carrier. So if you have a truck that has a DOT number on it but doesn't have the prefix U.S., then yes, that could be an offense for fines and being put out of service.
Okay, so the first violation is where the DOT number is displayed on the side of the truck. Yours just says DOT. It has to be displayed to say U.S. DOT. As a requirement, because we need to be able to know that that is the United States DOT number, because some states do have their own individual DOT number, so we have to know that.
Second reason why this truck driver got put out of service in a box truck is because, he stated that, usually he thought that, he'd have to be over 26,000 pounds to have a ELD and CDL. Right? And that is incorrect. It says here, generally need an ELD for a box truck if it's used in interstate commerce or is over 10,000 pounds.
And the other thing that's going to place you out of service for the next 10 hours for not having a record of duty status. You'll be eligible to drive again at 11:10 p.m. tonight. What I need from you is a signature down here by your name, an initial on the circle stating that you understand you were placed out of service.
So what happens if I don't sign it?
You don't have to sign it. It's
So I don't have to sign it.
No,
and I can take off after 10 hours?
After 10 hours,
you can I'm not signing it.
Okay. Well, you need to give this to your carrier, though. You're required to turn this in.
Like
your
I
carrier.
told you, man, it's a third party.
You're required to turn this in.
It's a third party, and I'm not hauling a commercial vehicle. I mean, okay, if you want to say that's what it is, cool. Okay. That's fine. But this is not. I'm not required to have a CDL for this, man.
I know. A CDL has nothing to do with whether you're a commercial motor vehicle or not. Commercial motor vehicles are any vehicle engaged in interstate commerce, so from state to state, with a GVWR of 10,000 pounds or more.
So who did you put those violations under?
They're assigned to the carrier that you have displayed on the side.
It's not assigned to me, right?
No, because I did not write you tickets. If I wrote you tickets, those would go against your driver's license. I'm assigning all these violations.
I need to know, when you went in there, did you run my name?
I did. I have to run your DL to make sure you have a valid driver's license.
Okay, but why did you run my name?
Because I have to verify that you have a driver's license. Just because you have one doesn't mean it's valid.
Specifically, if you're driving out of state, hauling freight in state, but more than 150 miles from your base or subject to FMCSA, you likely need an ELD. So this driver thought because it was a box truck and he did not have to have an ELD, and that's why he's getting put out of service. So the big things here are, just so you can educate yourself, right? The definition of a commercial motor vehicle is defined as any motor vehicle used on highway in interstate commerce to transport property or passengers when the vehicle has a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,001 pounds or more, a single or combination of vehicles with a gross vehicle weight of 26,001 pounds or more, and is designed or used to transport more than 8 passengers for compensation or more than 15 passengers if not receiving compensation for the transportation. Any size vehicle that transports hazardous materials that require federal placarding. It says here, now, on the other hand, a non-commercial motor vehicle would not meet the above criteria. For example, consider a vehicle where either the power unit alone or when combined with the trailer does not meet the minimum weight threshold of 10,001 pounds. So overall, mother truckers, just know that if it's 26,001 pounds, you are going to need a CDL. Now, the word commercial vehicle doesn't have anything to do with you needing a CDL. It has everything to do with if you are going interstate and you're doing it for business for the most part. Second to that, just know that if it's over 10,001 pounds, even if you're in a box truck, you will need an ELD and be accountable for that. So this driver got put out of service for a couple things. And the biggest thing of all was no ELD because he was over the 10,001 pounds, even if he was in a straight truck. And number two, had the DOT numbers and did not have the US. My truckers, comment down below. Here's a piece of this video. Tell me what you guys think about it. But just want to give you that information out today.
Listen, dude, I drove 18-wheelers for like 10 years, dude.
Okay.
All right. And I got people that drive box trucks and stuff, right? So I've never seen, like, a lot of the friends that I have, they don't even carry ELDs.
Well,
because
there are some exemptions in there. So like if you are a local driver, okay, you stay in your 150-mile radius, you don't have to have one. If the truck's older than a 2000, it doesn't have the software capability to be able to accept an ELD. There's some agricultural commodities too that let you not have to have an ELD, but you still got to have a record of duty status once you're outside that 150 air mile radius. Okay. Any other questions?
I mean, that's it, bro. So I got to sit here for 10 hours. I can't leave until what time?
I wrote it on here if you want this copy, 11:10 p.m. I actually finished the inspection at 1:10.
So what you're telling me right now, that's not going to affect my CDL?
No, because I did not write you tickets. Now, if someone was to do a query, if you were going to look for another job, it'll show you associated to inspections, but as for points on your CDL, no.
Okay. But that's all that's under my CDL though, right?
Well, you're the driver.
Hey, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was misinformed before I started here. So the person that gave me to drive this truck, she said that I didn't require to have ELDs. If I would have known, because I always ask questions, man.
Oh, I get you. You're perfect. You got a CDL,
You know
so you ask questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always ask questions, bro.
I hear you.
So at the end of the day, I asked her that. She said I wasn't required, so I was like, all right, cool. So I went based on her word.
Okay.
And now that I'm seeing, this is something new to me. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Like I said, I drove 18-wheelers for the past 10 years.
Well, and you probably drove for a bigger company, didn't you?
I drove for
everybody.
15 carriers, yeah.
Anybody,
so I understand.
Let you drive.
Right. So I understand you got a job to do, right? So I only pulled in because I know that if I wouldn't have pulled in, they would have sent one of y'all to go stop me.
Well, we might have.